Welcome to our program on holiday book art craft. I'm Judy Barnett from East Cobb Library, and we're going to go through a couple of projects that use old books. For example, you can make a folded Christmas tree. You can make a cut Christmas tree. This Christmas tree that was cut in half is standing up in between the two book covers. We can make a snowman with old books. This one is very old because it's yellow and its pages are starting to curl. This is a hedgehog that's wearing a stocking cap and a bow tie just for Christmas. We have a mouse with his reading glasses on. This mouse is kind of peeping over a tall book with his tail curling around. We can make Christmas angel, and this Christmas angel is also holding up two sides of the book covers. We can make a Christmas pillar candle holder with a little tea light right in the middle also. I love and respect books, but especially old books. But if a book is destined for the trash bin, then it makes it easier to deconstruct the book for artistic and craft purposes. It gives the book a new life, a different purpose. It gives it a different look, and it also gives it a different sense of appreciation. So let's begin with some of these easy projects. Now, the materials you'll need for these projects are very inexpensive. They are few, and they include glue, of course. We'll need glue, Elmer's glue, or the stick glue, or a glue gun. Also, you'll need some good scissors. The craft scissors are best that have a sharp point on them, or you can use an X-Acto knife. You'll need a ruler, a pencil. An old pencil will also substitute for a dowel, because on some of these projects, when we crease the spine of the book, we'll need a dowel to wrap the book around to seal it behind. And then, of course, you'll need old books. You can get your own old books. Some of the books your children have torn pages, but they don't want to get rid of them. You can find them at thrift stores, garage sales, wherever. The size of your project will depend upon the quality of the paper, how old it is or how new it is, and also the look of the project, if you want the antique worn look or if you want a brighter white page for newer books. You can also use hardback books. When you use hardback books, however, you need to tear the book out of the cover away from the spine, and you might want to save it, because you saw in the beginning of the program that I used some of the covers to do just half of a Christmas tree or half of an angel. So you can save these old covers as well. And so now let's go ahead and start a project. So our first project that we're going to have fun with is a cut Christmas tree. And you'll need to decide on the size of the tree. This one is a little smaller. This is a size larger paperback than the ordinary paperback. But whatever size you want, you could even use a hardback book. If it's a hardback book, you'll need to remove the book inside from the hard cover. And for paperback, you'll just rip this off and rip the back off. Okay. Then what you'll do is take a white piece of paper, the size of your book, and you're going to fold the paper over so that you will freeform one half of the side of your tree. You can use clip art, or you can just try your own drawing, which I did. Once you do that, open it up so that you can test if this is the kind of shape and size you want. If it's not, just keep working with it until you're happy. And once you decide on the template, take a piece of cardboard and make a cardboard, because you're going to use this several times, so you want it to stay stiff. Once you have your template, you want to take the edge of the template straight to the spine as close as you can get, and at the bottom, line it up at the bottom. If your template is smaller than your book itself, it's okay, because you'll just clip off the excess at the top. So then you'll just start to draw from your template like this. And then you'll take a scissors. And if you turn this sideways, you can, depending on the thickness and quality of your paper, you can go up to maybe 3 or 4 pages at one time. And then just start to cut the tree. And this is where the sharp points of a craft scissor really help. So you'll cut into the point. If you'll do one side at one time, it keeps you from having to turn the book around a whole lot. And you can listen to a good audiobook when you're doing this. Go all the way to the top. And like I say, if your book is a little bit taller, it's okay, just tear that off. And when you're finished, you can clip the top off. So now you see we have started to make our tree. And so you just keep going that way through the book and cutting it out. The binder clip will help you when you get to about the middle of the book. You'll take the binder clip over here, and that will help keep the thickness of that side away from the work that you want to do with the rest of the book. So just continue on to do that and cut out the tree. And when you're finished with your book, depending on how thick you wanted it to be, this is a very thin one. This was maybe 20 pages. So you would be able to just turn your book around, turn the tree around, and glue the two ends together like that. But if it's thicker, like about 130 pages, open up the book and make it very, very flat, and then take your dowel, put a strip of glue, and the glue gun works best for this. Put a strip of glue here, put the dowel, because that will make a nice round spine for you to curl the tree around. And once the dowel is in place, go ahead and put some more glue down the side on the pages of the limbs and hold it in place so that it's very tight. When that's done, you'll be able to take the full tree and fluff it out, and then you can decorate it any way you want to. I just put little tiny lights on this one, but you could have your kids glue tiny ornaments to the edge of the limbs. They could put just a ball ornament on top, or a star, or anything they wanted to. This is the fun part, being able to decorate the way you wanted to. For this half book, I just did half of the tree, and then I took some red construction paper and made a wider pattern so that the tree stood out against the print of the book. So I glued this red to my tree. You would have your half a tree, put the red behind it here, behind it there, and then open that up and just glue it to the inside of the book. And then once again, you could decorate it any way you wanted to. I just left this plain just to see the print and put a red ornament on top. These little trees also can be elevated on glass candle stands. I've just got them elevated on 2 books here, and I just painted the books red to go with the theme. All right, the next project is this little snowman. And basically it's the same idea of making a template for yourself. Take a white piece of paper, fold it in half, and just play with drawing the shape that you think you might want. And then when you open it up, you can decide, no, that doesn't look right, or you can tweak it or do whatever you want until you're happy with the shape. Take a piece of cardboard and cut your template. Make sure on the snowman that you have a flat bottom, because if it's completely round, it's going to roly-poly over. Once again, I've decided on the size of my book. I take my template and line it up to the bottom and as close to the spine as I can to the top. Once again, if your book is a little bit larger, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to cut that excess off at the top. So then I start to draw from my template, and I will start to cut the pages. You can turn it this way, and so you can look to see about how many pages. It saves time if you can do more than 2 or 3. 4 to 5 is best. And then take your craft scissors and cut the snowman's half. Around here, around here. And since those corners are pretty tight, I just kind of veer off to the side, and then I go back and cut the triangle out so that you have a nice sharp corner in the sections, just like that. So you'll continue to cut, and once again, as you go through your book, depending on how thick it is, in order to maneuver better as you go through the thickness of the book, go ahead and use these binder clips to keep them out of the way. And you can crease it like that and work a lot better. Once you have the snowman complete, whether you're doing a half a snowman or a complete one, you'll need to glue him in the back. So if it's a very thick one, remember to use the dowel again, or you can also use an old pencil. Either one works. You would glue that and then put in the dowel or the pencil, fold it over so you have a nice round in the middle. And once that's set, glue gun works best for that. Once that's set, then you can take the snowman and fluff him around and around and around, and then you will glue the back sides together. You can decorate the snowman any way you want. This is where the fun comes in. You see, I've just done a little muffler, and I've used 2 twigs for his arms, the top hat, and a little sprig of holly. But traditionally, snowmen have black buttons, so you could use black buttons on him, a different kind of scarf hat, whatever you want. That's where the fun comes in, to fix your snowman just the way you want to. So now we're going to go on to folded book art. And this is a project has to do with a little Christmas tree. These are very popular, and they're all really very easy to do. Once again, you can use small paperbacks, large size paperbacks, or juvenile picture books, or adult fiction or nonfiction. For demonstration purposes, this size book created that size tree. And you hold it like this so that your spine is at the top and the bottom. You're going to use that point for your first fold. Up at the top, take the corner of the book and bring it over as close as you can to the spine, and then crease the fold down. The next thing you'll do is take this portion, and once again, we're going right to the spine. And you'll need to try and make your little points at the top as neat as you can, and then crease it down like that. So now we have the point of the tree, but we've got a little tail down here. And for the tail, there's two ways to do it. You can take your thumb and just crease it down here and pick this up and fold it under. So now you can see that we have the shape of the tree. If you don't want to do that, you can do several pages and then you can use a scissors and just snip them off. I think it gives the tree more stability if you fold it under, but whatever works for you is fine. Then turn that page over, go to the second page, and just continue on. I take the corner of my book, move it down to the spine, crease it, take this portion right here where the fold ended. Once again, the whole thing goes to the spine. Tuck that little top in good, smoosh it into the corner, put down the crease, mark the bottom by doing some kind of little indentation there, and then tuck that under. Now you can see right now, this is where the binder clips come in handy. And as you go through the book, these will get thicker. So you can use your binder clip like that just to keep that away from your next fold. We'll do one more. Right to the spine, crease it down. Take this fold here and take it also right to the spine, tucking the top down. Crease, make a little mark on the bottom, and just tuck it under. And then I can take my binder clip and put it there. And as you work through the book, you'll be able then to judge the thickness of it. If you've taken a book that's way too big for your purposes, you can just take the rest of the book and use an X-Acto knife or a scissors and just cut the book away. So here's one that would be ready to turn. You can see how nice this is, relatively new paper, and it's wider than the older yellowed paper that some of our other items are made from. So now that we're ready to make it a circular tree, once again, fold it flat, put a bead of glue or hot glue, put down the dowel, fold it over and hold till that's set, and then when it's ready, you can take this off and glue the other two pages together so that then you would have your round tree. And you can just fluff them out a little bit. For this little tree, you can this is the fun part again. You can decorate it any way you want to. I just use a little gold garland and put a star on top. But kids like to put star jewels or ornaments on it, anything that you feel that is the best thing for your kids and your family. For the base of the tree, I went ahead and made a tree trunk and covered it with paper. But you could just keep the tree flat. They also look good on glass candle holders. Or you can just prop the tree on a book. Whatever works, it's up to you. You can be creative and do whatever you want with it because you made it. Now the folded Christmas tree shape is pretty versatile. Instead of making it a Christmas tree, all I did was cut out some angel wings. And once again, I used some music sheets instead of the printed page for this particular angel. This is an old ornament that I used for a head. And then, of course, a bow and an antique button. For this angel, I decided just to use, this is only like 23 pages, and it turned out really well because the quality of the paper was very thick and white. So it was just a small Christmas tree, but I glued it to the inside of the hard back cover. And then for the angel wings, I cut it, the print for the angel wings, and then to kind of give it a background, I put blue ribbon, also in the shape of a Christmas tree. For the little head, you just cut a portion of a paperback book and make a half circle shape, just like you did for the snowman, and then unfold it, and it will make a ball shape for the head. I added, of course, the halo and a little blue poinsettia there. So that's the Christmas tree turned into an angel. Now these two items are also Christmas trees. If you look at the mouse, it's just a small Christmas tree, but we turn it around, and I glued it to the inside. I cut a paperback book in half because I wanted a small one. And after I made the small Christmas tree, turned it around, glued it down the middle, and then I just made little ears out of the paperback page. This is merely pipe cleaner for the glasses and the tail. These are buttons, and then just construction paper for the whiskers. This mouse, this was a book that had been almost completely destroyed, but what was remaining were some nice color pictures from it. And so I cut the color pictures out and instead of turning the book so that the printed page shows, I turned it around and glued the pictures from the book here. And this says, "When all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse." And so I made a little mouse head, and I had him hanging over the book, and I made a curly tail out of paper for him. And once again, buttons for the eyes, paper, ears, and the little paws are hanging over, and construction paper for his whiskers. Here are two more ideas using the Christmas tree shape, but with children's books. Children's books have great quality paper, plus they're multicolored, so it has a different look from our print books. For this little kid's book, you can see that a corner of this was also chewed off, so this book was done for. I went through the book and chose some favorite pictures that the child had. These two pictures, this one says, "That's what friends are for." It had to do with the story of Ricky Ricotta's Mighty Robot. So I glued that to the inside of the book cover. I made the Christmas tree, and I cut out a picture of Ricky Ricotta and put him as a Christmas tree top. For this book, this was even better quality paper, and you see how it didn't even crease very well, so it's nice and thick. This book, once again I went through the book and cut out a favorite character of the child, and then I let the child decorate the ducks. So they put bows on the ducks, they put some jewels at the top of the hat, they put jewels on the sock feet, and had a lot of fun with that. All right, these are pillar candles that hold a little tea light in the middle. And you can see they give a really distinctive look with the print on the vertical. There's only one fold involved in these, so the fold is very easy. The tricky part is cutting out an opening to hold the tea light. What you'll need to do is decide on the thickness of your book. This one is going to be about 100 pages. So you would do 50 and 50. And you'll need to measure the size of your tea light. You can eyeball it just like this, or you can actually take a ruler and measure. You need the depth of it. This is about 1/2 inch, and the width of it was about 1.5 inches. And you need to cut a tiny corner on the spine side and a tiny corner on the other side. You can do this with an X-Acto knife because it isn't a lot of cutting, or you can just do it with the scissors. Clip here and clip there, and then clip here and clip there. And once again, you'll see that when you turn it, so then you're ready to fold. Once you have all of the corners clipped, All you do is take one side of the book, put it to the spine, and crease it. Turn that over. One side of the spine, turn it to the spine, and crease it down. Take the edge of the page to the spine and crease it down. And once again, when this gets too thick for you, you can use the binder clips so that you have a little more room to work. And you just keep doing that until you have enough fullness for your candle. Once again, if it's very, very thick, you will want to use the dowel. Take the book, press it in half, press it down on the floor, and take the dowel. Run a bead of glue right down the middle here. Put the dowel in, fold it over, hold it tight until it sets. Once it's set, then you're able to glue the last 2 pages together. And then you can just fluff it up so that it sits nice and round. And this is when the fun comes in. You can decorate it any way you want to. I just took some clear ribbon so you could still see the folds of the candle through it. And I glued some antique buttons in the design. This one, once again, it's shiny clear so you can still see the vertical pages that are folded. And this is an antique cutout from an old Christmas card. And then you just put the little tea light inside. You're good to go. You should never use a real candle in these paper candle holders. Always just use a tea light. Well, here's how to make a hedgehog. You can see that this hedgehog has a snout, and then in the back it has a bit of a tail. So the shape is different from the ones we've worked with before, but it's really pretty easy. This was from old paper, so that it's quite yellow, but I loved the book because it had some beautiful old illustrations, and so I took the illustrations and saved those for my centerpiece to place the hedgehog on. So this book was a lot wider than this paperback, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm showing you how to fold on this one. Take the page and fold it to the middle, to the very edge of the spine, and crease it down. And then it's 2 folds. This one will go once again to the spine right there. And then this one, instead of going to the spine, you'll take this bottom corner and just fold it up so it's a bit of a little triangle, because this is going to be the tail side. So a little tiny triangle there. You can see that this would be his snout, and then this would be his back end. Once again, fold that over and do your next one. It goes to the middle. It's 3 folds. Fold it straight down the middle. Take the edge of the fold here and put it to the spine again. We're making the nose now. For the tail, it's just a tiny little triangle at the bottom. Just kind of remember the triangle is going to go parallel to the spine. And then fold that over. Once again, the binder clips come in handy. I'll do a couple more folds because this is different from what we had before. Go straight to the middle. Fold this down to the middle. For the tail, just a tiny little corner going up. And try and make it as much of a right angle as you can get. And then fold that and put that in the middle until you have your hedgehog shape. You won't have to worry about using a dowel to try and curve it around to the back of each other because they're going to sit flat on a surface. So once again, I used buttons for the eyes and the nose. Here's just little black construction paper for the feet. And that's all you have to do for a hedgehog. If you wanted to use any kind of background for him to sit on, once again, use your creativity. Whatever you think works is good. There's our hedgehog. I hope you enjoyed seeing these projects, and I hope you'll try one or more. Be creative, have fun with it. They will be on display as part of East Cobb Library's holiday decor if you'd care to come in and visit us. My best wishes to you and your loved ones for a safe, happy holiday.